Okay, so you've seen her on BuzzFeed and Nickelodeon. She's going to be reading Forbidden Love. Court Rundell.
Yeah.
My best friend Bree and I met in the darkest level of Dante's Inferno, middle school. Bree looked like a mix between Marilyn Monroe when she was Norma Jean and Bridget Moynihan. Like, her lips were full, she had a mole in the perfect spot, and she was a D cup by the 7th grade. I had to constantly fight a strong inclination to stare at her face all of the time. Bree's goal in life was to be très chic. She wanted to move to Paris and start a clothing line called Très Chic. The only thing she talked about more than Paris was her pretend boyfriend, George Michael. Yes, that George Michael. Yes, he was still in Wham! And yes, I hated him more than Molly Ringwald's prom dress at the end of Pretty in Pink. Did I forget to mention that it was 1986? Bree and I stayed at her dad's horse ranch every other weekend. She decided we were going to take our longest horseback ride to date. As she put the saddle on her horse, she turned around, grinned at me, and said, "Are you sure you're ready for this? You're not going to be able to walk for days." And then she winked at me. A lightning bolt shot down to my taco. There was no way I could continue denying that I wanted to be so much more than friends with Bree. Then we went on a 4-hour horseback ride, which consisted of her fantasizing about Paris and George Michael while I dry humped my saddle. We got back and went swimming. We always swam after a ride. This was normal. What was not normal was Bree ripping off all of her clothes and announcing that she likes to swim naked when no one's home because it feels really good. Yes, she was standing naked in front of me. Yes, I was naked in 30 seconds. Yes, I knew right then and there I was a lesbian. Her breasts floated in the water. Like, my breasts wouldn't even think about floating until I was in my 30s. I wanted to bury my face in them and live there forever. She swam and floated comfortably, and I stared at her awkwardly and squeezed my legs together until she said, "I want to show you something in my bedroom. It's a secret." We wrapped towels around our naked bodies and ran into her bedroom, and she turned on the TV, and there he was, George fucking Michael. She asked me to get in bed with her and threw a pillow at me. Then she told me to put it between my legs. She pulled up hard on the pillow and started to grind on it. And then she said, "I like to do this and pretend like the pillow's George Michael." And we both came while watching a gay man do the jitterbug in dolphin shorts. There was no kissing, no nipple licking, no finger banging, but there was an open window. And by God, I was going to go through that window and in and out of that window. And I was going to fuck the shit out of that window. We had just decided to go goth. Yeah, somehow we conned our parents into letting us go to an underage goth nightclub the next Friday night. It was a whole different world. Like, boys with boys, girls with girls, everything was out in the open. One trip to the bathroom changed my life forever. 2 girls were totally fucking in the stall right next to me, and one of them was the prettiest goth girl I had ever seen in my entire life. I grabbed Bree. I finally had a method to get my point across. Right there in black lipstick and panties on the floor. I dragged her into the bathroom and pointed to the stall, and then I literally said, "Très chic!" Really? She watched for several minutes, and then whispered to me that bisexuality is very common in Paris. Why, yes, Bree, it is. Of course, so is not wearing deodorant, but I wasn't about to bring that shit up. And with that, we planned to practice bisexuality when we got back to my house that night. We rushed right into my bedroom. Bree was concerned with practicing bisexuality correctly, and she decided we should do it in the bath. So I drew a bath and put candles all over my boombox. I was so ready. I had already made not one, but 2 mixtapes for the event. Depeche Mode came on, and the bathroom was transformed into a lesbian paradise. The bath was steaming, the candles glowing. We took off all of our clothes and stared at each other. She was the most beautiful human I'd ever seen. And there I stood, not a curve in sight, and my incredibly small and perky breasts were so high they were practically around my neck. I just wish they would calm the fuck down. We got in the bath and sat cross-legged, staring in each other's eyes and leaning in toward each other, just like Jake and Molly Ringwald in the end of 16 Candles. When her lips touched mine, electricity ran through my body. When the water turned cold, we went to bed, and I fucked the shit out of her. Okay. Really, I made love to her, but how dumb is that? I can't stand that, so I fucked the shit out of her. I wanted the night to last forever. I was trying to stay in the moment, but my manic brain wanted to schedule at least 3 more play dates in pen. After that night, I thought we were girlfriend, and would be together forever. But the next Friday night, when I started busting out my moves, she stopped me before I could even get to first base. She pushed me away and said very firmly, "I'm not gay. I like men." I would have future sexual encounters with women, but none, and I mean none, ever compared to Bree. Thankfully, I found a perfect replacement for Bree a few months later named Cocaine. But that's an entirely different love story, and there's nothing secret about that one. Thank you.
First of all, you totally rock. Thanks for listening to my whole story. And secondly, there's kind of an addendum. I am married to a man, and I have been married to him for 16 years. We've been together 19 years. I love him like crazy. I've always considered myself bisexual. I feel like I could have gone either way, but I definitely didn't pursue any more relationships with women after what happened. I think because I was 12, it was such a tender age, and I just couldn't stand the idea of being rejected again. So that's the story. I love men, I love women, I love humans. Yay, everybody's awesome, and you're awesome. And thank you for listening. Woohoo! Bye.